Hey everyone, welcome. I'm really glad you're here. Today's video is for those of you who are walking through the fire, feeling like you're falling apart, like nothing makes sense anymore, like the ground under your feet has disappeared. You might be asking yourself, am I depressed? Or is something else happening? That question is more common than you think. In this video, we're going to explore one of the most misunderstood experiences on the spiritual path, something called the dark night of the soul. And we're going to talk about the key difference between this and regular depression, especially through the lens of non-duality. Let's be clear, this is not about denying depression. Depression is real, and millions of people suffer from it every day. But what we're focusing on here is something deeper, something existential, something that spiritual seekers and mystics throughout history have gone through. The dark night of the soul is not a psychological disorder. It is not about mood swings or lack of motivation. It is about the crumbling of the false identity, the ego. It is the death of who you thought you were. And this death is not metaphorical. It feels like dying, because from the perspective of the ego, it is. So what exactly is the dark night of the soul? It's when your spiritual journey takes a turn inward, not into light and bliss, but into emptiness and despair. All the beliefs you once held dear begin to lose their meaning. The practices that used to bring peace no longer work. Life feels hollow. You may look around and see nothing but illusion. It can feel like a spiritual depression, but it's not depression. It is the stripping away of illusion. You're not just sad. You're shedding layers of identity. The you that wanted success, validation, meaning, control, it's dissolving. Here's the key difference between depression and the dark night. Depression wants relief. It says, I want to feel better. The dark night says, I want to know the truth, even if it destroys me. Depression often looks for comfort, for return to normal. The dark night of the soul has no desire to return to normal, because something inside you knows normal was never real. You're not going backwards. You're moving through fire so that truth can emerge. Many people confuse the two because they look similar on the surface. You feel heavy. You feel numb. You might isolate yourself. You might even cry for no reason. But if you're truly in the dark night, there's a spiritual intelligence behind the suffering. Something is guiding this collapse. It's not random. And it's not just chemical imbalance. It's existential. The meaninglessness you feel isn't just hopelessness. It's an invitation to let go of all false meanings. The ego hates this process, and so do we, if we're still identified with it. The ego wants answers. It wants light. It wants progress. But in the dark night, nothing works. And that's the point. You are being invited into surrender. Not surrender to an idea, but surrender of your entire self-concept. And here's the hardest truth. This is not something you can control. You can't fast forward it. You can't fix it. You have to let it happen. This is the ego's funeral, and it's not supposed to feel good. So what makes the dark night sacred? It's that the real you, what some call awareness, consciousness, or presence, is untouched by this death. That awareness is what survives the fire. And the only way to recognize that truth is to let everything else burn. So if you're going through this right now, if you feel empty, lost, numb, and detached from everything you once valued, you are not broken. You are not sick. You are not even going backward. You are dissolving. And in non-duality, this is essential. You cannot truly realize the one until the illusion of the separate self dies. That death is what we're calling the dark night. The truth is, most spiritual people are still operating from ego. They've just spiritualized it. They read the books, chant the mantras, go on retreats, but the core I is still intact. The dark night comes when even that spiritual ego starts to collapse. You feel like you know nothing. You question everything. You stop identifying as a seeker, a teacher, or even as someone on a path. This is why it's so painful. Because everything you thought you were is being erased. And the mind doesn't like that. The mind says, I'm losing myself. But from the perspective of the soul, or true being, this is freedom. You're not losing anything real. You're shedding a costume. You're waking up from a dream. Some people never go through this. Others go through it multiple times in their life. And there's no way to prepare for it because it's not a choice. It happens when the deeper truth is ready to emerge. And here's what's important. You don't need to resist it. You don't need to make it go away. You don't even need to label it. All you need to do is be with what's here. Feel what's here. Let the false fall away. And if someone tells you the dark night is just depression, smile gently. They may not have been through it. Or they may be confusing spiritual death with emotional pain. Depression wants to numb the pain. The dark night wants to purify through the pain. Real ego death is not a trend. It's not a buzzword. It's agony. And it's also grace. Protect yourself from misunderstanding. The internet is full of people who use terms like ego death, but they have no idea what it really means. They've just gone through a temporary low or a moment of sadness and mistake it for awakening. But those who have truly walked through the dark night don't glorify it. They don't chase it. They speak of it with reverence because they know it changes everything. So if you're going through this, you're not alone. You are part of a sacred unraveling. You are dissolving so that the truth of who you are can emerge, not as a belief, not as a new identity, but as pure being. This is non-duality. No more illusions, no more roles, just what is, here and now. Let go of the timeline. Let go of fixing. Let go of trying to feel better. And instead, surrender to what is. Because what's happening to you is not an error. It's a spiritual initiation. You are being reborn, not into someone better, but into no one at all. Thank you for being here and for having the courage to go through this. If this video spoke to you, feel free to share it with someone who might need it. And remember, you're not becoming spiritual. You're becoming real. And that's the most sacred journey of all. Peace and presence.